7 signs that shows a weak mentality, building your emotional strength. A weak mentality can hold you back in life, preventing you from reaching your full potential and living a fulfilling life. If you're struggling with low self-esteem, lack of motivation, or other signs of a weak mentality, it's time to make a change. A weak mentality can be the result of many factors, including past experiences, negative thoughts, and low self-esteem. When you have a weak mentality, it can impact every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your career. For example, someone with low self-esteem might have difficulty making friends or forming meaningful connections with others. They may also find it hard to achieve success at work or school, as they lack the confidence to take risks or put themselves out there. In this video, we will be discussing the 7 signs that shows that one has a weak mentality and possible solutions. 1. Low self-esteem or self-confidence. Low self-esteem is often the root of many other issues, as it can lead to feelings of worthlessness, insecurity, and a lack of confidence. People with low self-esteem may doubt their abilities and accomplishments, and have a hard time accepting praise or compliments. They may also have a negative view of themselves, and see themselves as inferior to others. One common sign of low self-esteem is a fear of failure. People with low self-esteem may avoid taking risks or putting themselves out there, as they're afraid of failing or being judged by others. This can lead to missed opportunities and a life that feels small and unfulfilling. For instance, one with low self-esteem might avoid applying for a promotion or taking on new challenges at work, out of fear of being judged or rejected. They may also avoid trying new things or putting themselves out there socially. People with low self-esteem base their worth on the approval and constant validation from others. They try to please others by going along with what others want, even if it's not what they want for themselves. They're not being true to themselves. To overcome this, it's important to focus on developing self-acceptance and self-love. This can be done through practicing self-compassion, setting boundaries, and focusing on your strengths. Self-compassion involves being kind to yourself, rather than harshly judging yourself for your mistakes. Setting boundaries involves saying no when you need to, and not overextending yourself for the sake of pleasing others. Finally, focusing on your strengths involves recognizing and celebrating your positive qualities, rather than dwelling on your perceived flaws. 2. Lack of motivation or drive. This is often linked to negative thinking patterns. For example, someone with a weak mentality may have negative thoughts about their abilities, such as "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never be successful." These thoughts can be a major obstacle to motivation, as they make it difficult to feel inspired or motivated to take action. A lack of motivation or drive can lead to a lack of energy and enthusiasm. When you're feeling unmotivated, it can be hard to find the energy to get started on tasks or to keep going when things get difficult. For example, you might feel drained of energy and find it hard to focus on your work or school assignments. This can make it difficult to feel excited about what you're doing. One way to overcome this is to break tasks down into smaller, more manageable steps. This can make the task feel less overwhelming and more doable. For example, if you're feeling unmotivated to start a project, you could break it down into smaller tasks, such as writing a list of what needs to be done, gathering the necessary materials, and setting a time limit for each task. Another is to focus on the rewards and benefits of completing the task. This can give you a sense of purpose and a reason to keep going, even when things get tough. 3. Feeling overwhelmed easily. Feeling overwhelmed easily can lead to a lack of focus and clarity. When you're feeling overwhelmed, it can be difficult to focus on what needs to be done and to think clearly about the best way to proceed. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, stress, and even panic. This can also be a symptom of low emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to cope with and recover from stress, and it's an important aspect of mental strength. When you're not emotionally resilient, it can be difficult to cope with even minor stressors, which can lead to feeling overwhelmed. A helpful strategy is to practice mindfulness. This involves focusing on the present moment and accepting your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Mindfulness can help you to clear your mind, reduce stress, and focus on the task at hand. Another strategy is to focus on your breathing. Deep, slow breathing can help to calm your mind and body, and it can be a useful tool in stressful situations. Try to take deep, slow breaths in and out through your nose, and focus on the feeling of the air moving in and out of your body. Another strategy is to focus on positive self-talk. This involves using affirmations and positive statements to counteract negative thoughts. For example, you could tell yourself, "I'm capable of handling this challenge," or "I can take things one step at a time." 4. Difficulty making decisions. Difficulty making decisions can also be a sign of a weak mentality, as it can be a sign of anxiety or stress. When you're feeling overwhelmed, it can be hard to focus on the choices in front of you and make a decision. This can lead to feeling stuck and unable to move forward. Difficulty making decision can be related to a lack of confidence and self-trust. When you're having trouble making decisions, it can be a sign that you're unsure of your own judgment and abilities. This can be a result of past experiences where you've made decisions that didn't turn out the way you wanted, or of being overly critical of yourself. Difficulty making decisions can also be an indication of perfectionism. Perfectionism is the unrealistic expectation that everything should be perfect, and it can lead to procrastination and fear of failure. If you're a perfectionist, you may have trouble making decisions because you're afraid of making the wrong choice. One strategy is to focus on one small decision at a time. Breaking down the decision into smaller steps can make it feel less daunting and help you to focus on what's most important. For example, instead of thinking about the entire project at once, you could focus on the first step and work from there. Another is to use a decision-making model, such as the pros and cons list. This involves listing the pros and cons of each option, and then weighing them against each other to help you make a decision. Another strategy is to set a time limit for making the decision. This can help you to avoid getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Practice focusing on the present moment, and it can help you to let go of worries about the future and to make decisions based on the information you have in the present. 5. Trouble taking action or following through on goals. Difficulty taking action or following through on goals can be related to perfectionism, but it can also be a result of other factors, such as a lack of motivation or feeling overwhelmed. This difficulty can be related to a lack of self-discipline, which is the ability to persevere in the face of obstacles and to follow through on commitments. To develop self-discipline, it can be helpful to focus on building small, consistent habits. This could mean committing to a daily walk, starting a journal, or making your bed every morning. These small, consistent habits can build up your self-discipline and make it easier to take action on bigger goals. 6. Procrastination or avoidance of tasks. Procrastination is the act of putting off tasks or responsibilities, and it's often a result of fear or anxiety. When we're afraid of failure or overwhelmed by a task, it can be easier to avoid it altogether. But procrastination can lead to feelings of guilt and stress, which only makes the task feel more daunting. One technique to overcome procrastination is called the 5-minute rule. This rule states that if you're avoiding a task, you should commit to working on it for just 5 minutes. Oftentimes, once you get started, it's easier to keep going. Another technique is called the body double method. This involves working on a task with someone else, such as a friend or study partner. Having someone else there can help to keep you accountable and motivated. Having a body double can be a great way to overcome procrastination. Another technique is called time boxing. This involves setting a specific time limit for a task, such as 20 minutes, and then focusing solely on that task during that time. This can help to avoid distractions and keep you focused. 7. Negative or pessimistic thinking. Having a negative or pessimistic mindset can be a big obstacle to success. This type of thinking can lead to self-doubt, fear of failure, and even depression. One strategy for overcoming negative thinking is called thought reframing. This involves identifying negative thoughts and replacing them with more positive ones. Say you have a negative thought like "I'll never be able to do this task." With thought reframing, you could replace that thought with something like "It might be challenging, but I'm going to give it my best effort." Another is to practice gratitude. This means focusing on the things you're grateful for, rather than dwelling on the negative. Gratitude can help to shift your mindset and make you feel more positive and optimistic. Conclusion. We've covered 7 signs that you may have a weak mentality, including low self-esteem, lack of motivation, avoidance of tasks, and negative thinking. However, these signs don't have to be permanent. You can overcome them by practicing gratitude, thought reframing, and other strategies. By taking small steps and focusing on positivity, you can gradually strengthen your mentality and improve your quality of life.